Hey all, Matt here with Bobcat Bonsai, and today we're going to do a little work on a juniper. I bought it and I've been letting it grow and letting it grow and letting it grow and trying to decide what exactly I'm going to do with it. And I'm thinking about doing the typical juniper thing and making a semi-cascade. So my thoughts are I'm going to go ahead and not mostly just wire up and begin the shaping because it's still thickening up a lot. Like since last year it's probably gotten twice as thick, but now I want to start to get it into shape so that it starts growing into shape rather than just growing wildly. I'll show you here in a second. So when I say growing wildly, this is what I mean. This little guy is literally just growing wild, and I need to figure out the plan for it as far as what I want to be the main leader and then what I want to cascade over. So this one's growing real strong, so this one may end up being the cascade, and then this may end up being the semi-cascade part that hangs out through the top. As far as right now, this one is growing sacrificial to try to thicken up this trunk down here as much as possible. So sacrificial going into the trunk. So let's get this out of the pot and we will figure out exactly what we're going to wire in what direction. We may be throwing some wire on just to move things out of the way for the time being. Who knows? Let's get to it. Alright, so since this one we're not doing anything like super fancy with right now, we're going to use some old green anodized aluminum wire on it. I'm just going to give this a little squish for the time being just to get it out of here. The roots look really good. So it wasn't a teeny tiny little pot, and I actually moved it into this one. Looks like the roots all just had to grow to one side though, so that's not exactly super awesome, but it's workable. We can work with it. So I'm just gonna take my little fork rake here and just tap just to get some of these opened up a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure what the base is looking like here because I haven't really gotten in close to it at all. But I would prefer to get these roots worked on a little bit this year and then go from there with everything else. So, looking at it, it looks like definitely made from a cutting, which is great. That's actually really good because at this point I'm sitting with a pretty flat base all the way up into there. So let me go grab my little toothbrush over here and I'll be right back. Alright, got my little toothbrush. So now we're gonna brush the roots like a little toothbrush brush. Okay. So this is going to give us our best answer of exactly what's going on where in here. I don't mind bare rooting the junipers this time of year because I've never had bad luck with it yet. Doesn't mean I won't have bad luck with it in the future, but as of right now, I have not, so I'm just going to stick with it. Stick with what I know. Stick with what I know. Alright. So the roots are looking good. Really good. I'm just going to take them, drop it in this bucket real quick while I clean up this mess. Alright. So this is going to give me the opportunity to pull this out and really get a good look at these roots here and see exactly what we're going to do. We want to try to get these untangled and as straight as possible so I can figure out which roots I'm going to get rid of and which ones I'm going to keep. I'd really like to get rid of this bottom chunk down here altogether and just keep more of what's growing from like this level right in here. But I need to know how much root I have growing from up there. It's just looking and going. It's kind of rough because I have like nothing coming out of this backside over here. So if I was to take off this chunk down here, that would open up all of this to let it just grow and keep going with it, which could be great. Or it could be bad. But we shall go for it just to begin it. We gotta start at some point, and I can't keep putting off doing the roots because I'm worried about something happening, because no matter what, I'm going to be worried something's going to happen. So we'll just come in here. Oh no, sorry about that, guys. I almost flipped my chair, and in the process I took you all out with me. So I'm just going to come in with my older set of scissors here, and there we go. Now I've gotten rid of a little bit of root. We have a little bit of root left. So for me, I think doing root work is the most nerve-wracking part for me. I can tell you that for certain here. So if we check it out from right here, we've actually got almost a full radial pattern, which is awesome, but we're not all the way there yet. So I'm going to come back through here and just trim up around the outside edges here. Just to try to get it all confined a little bit better so we can get it flatter. So now I've got that all set up here, and I love that. That's actually really nice the way that that's working out for me here. Oh no, it fell over. So I'm going to set this back in the water and grab this little piece of slate here. But this is going to be a little bit too big for what I need. So I'm going to grab my little sledgehammer here, and I'm just going to break the slate until it fits in here just right for what I need it for. So this one's still not just right. Almost there. Okay, so now we have our nice little piece of slate here. If you don't keep a sledgehammer in your greenhouse, you should definitely do that. I can't tell you how often this comes in handy for me. But that's up to you. Alright, so now we can set the roots down over top of here and begin to force it where it has to grow out and around. So the easiest way that I've found to deal with this type of situation is I'll take a super thin wire, like 0.5 millimeter, and I'm just going to come in here and pretty much just come up loop it around, and then take it down, and then come up and loop it around another corner. And I'm going to take this one over to here, and this one over to here. So now we have these two wires sitting in a spot where we want them at. And then as far as the rest of it goes, now we just have to get it wrapped around the base of the tree, bring it across, and I don't twist it tightly. I just twist it enough so that I can stabilize it. And that's all. So then when I go to pot it back up, I'll just have it sitting here like this, and it'll allow me to slide it all down inside here, and the roots will continue to grow down, but it's going to force them to also grow upwards. I've done it with a few different trees so far, and it's worked out really good. We'll do an update next year, and we'll recheck it all out. For the time being, I'm just going to come in here and refill up the soil, and then I'll be right back with you. Alright, so I didn't want to overbore you here, so I got some of the soil in and set the tree, and then got the roots all worked down and around that. So now I'm just putting a top layer of soil in just to kind of re-hold it down. So I will show you the next trick that we're going to have to do then once we're done, because I wanted this up high enough to be able to see everything that's going on. So I just have to really make sure I get this worked in all the way around here on top of these roots, because the last thing we want is the roots that are on top of the slate to die. So we'll just take that, keep working it in. So I'll be back with you here in a moment after I get this all worked in. Alright, so everything's all worked in now, so now we're just going to come back and just clean up, because I don't want all this extra dirt hanging out all over the trunk. The soil's packed in around the roots, so that's all good to go there. We are going to come back and grab another piece of 1/2 mil wire here, and that will allow me to show you the next part of this little trick here. So it's not really a trick. I'm just going to come in, feed the wire down, and I just have to keep feeding the wire through this side here. Then I just come across here, bring it through, and then I bring it back. Super hardcore trick, am I right? And then all I'm going to do at this point is just take it and twist it in right here. And all we're really doing is basically just keeping it so that this whole piece can't lift up and out. So now it's just kind of stuck where it's at. And that's it for that little part. I know, not super complicated at all, but this gives me a whole new view. So this was the little branch I was talking about that we're leaving on to thicken it up. Then this was the piece that I was talking about taking and actually cascading over and through here. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be gotten rid of, and because of that, that makes things a little bit more difficult as well. I'm actually going to take, I know you should use plastic and stuff when you're pulling a wire down, but my thought is, because this is a sacrificial branch, am I really concerned what the wire does to the branch? No, I'm not really concerned. So I'm just going to take this one and just pull it down to here, and that's all. So this branch is going to hang out over here, open up space, and that's all I'm honestly working on with this little tree now, is just getting space opened up so this thing can go. go so this thing can grow. I don't want to trim a bunch of foliage off after the root work I just did though. I want to leave that alone. I know what you're thinking, and you're thinking to yourselves, well, this time of year, shouldn't all the energy be back in the roots already? And in this circumstance, no. So it's been so hot that these things are still pushing new foliage, so it hasn't even begun to push the energy back into the roots yet. We're still in a good spot to work on it. Yeah, so not 100% certain on how I'm going to go about this whole cascaded piece here, but I do know one thing for certain. I'm going to put this wire on here. And at least begin the process of getting it bent into shape. And this wire is probably way thicker than what I needed. Not probably, it is way thicker than what I needed. But that's okay. We're just gonna roll with it. Sorry if my hands keep getting in your way. So, just bring that one around. I'll nip it there. So what I'm going to do now is just take it and just kind of turn it and just leave it for it to begin to open up a little bit. So that one's going to go in that direction. And honestly, at that point, it kind of has everything else opened up, but I will run one more on here. And this one's just going to run up and around this other branch right here. And again, wire's way thicker than what I need. I'm going to leave it loose so it can grow and doesn't damage the foliage. But I'm also going to get it on here so that I can open things up a little bit better. So now that that one's on here, I'm going to just take this one and bring it down. So basically what I'm doing right now is I'm giving myself options for the future because I'm not 100% sure in what direction I'm going to go with it. I'm going to just open it all up, leave it open for things to do what they want, and just go from there. At this point, I feel like everything else is open enough that I don't really need to worry about too much more. Let me just pull down this one last little branch here. And this one's just to get it away from this other branch. I'm just trying to get as much light in as possible to see how much different growth we're going to get out of this. So there we go. Weirdest looking tree you're ever going to see at this point in time. Is it a pre-bonsai? Not really. It is a giant work in progress that I'm working on the roots currently, and we're going to see how the rest of this goes. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you should give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content, you should subscribe to my channel. And if you really enjoy my content, you should hit the bell notification so you get notified every time I release a new video. Thank you.